Oh, what a difference a week makes, my friends. Here we are, back in the garage, 7 days removed from one of the, I guess, most special episodes of Needless to Say we've ever done. We're all still suffering a little bit from an E.J. Edmonds hangover. So we decided tonight we were going to go a little bit without a net. We've got some headlines, we've got some topics, we've got a handful of things to do. You're also going to hear me vape into the microphone. You're going to hear Craig light a cigarette. You hear a lot of beer cans opening, occasional belching. You're going to hear it all because at the end of the day, we are Needless to Say. Until then, Maestro, please hit my goddamn music.
Needless to say, I'm Craig, and I'm here with Brad and Rumpelstiltskin. God damn it. Happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you.
I know we roasted you a couple of weeks ago for your birthday, but schedules were crazy. We didn't know if we were going to end up doing this show or not because of parties and crazy shit going on.
We should talk about this party.
We should.
We should mention, we should have like a before.
And then after?
And then the after, just to see if our predictions come true. This is my first time.
What I'd like to do is actually put a microphone in Dave's bathroom for Sunday morning.
No, I'm a loud puker. You'll hear me from the yard. I've tried. I'm not a quiet puker.
There's really no point in it. When you're in there for 20 minutes and you come out and you're sniffling.
Yeah.
And sweating.
Yeah.
Why are you crying?
And your breath smells like sour milk and feet. Everybody kind of has the idea.
Dave had an evening. It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
He's teaching a class.
Just not well. Yeah. So Brad's saying that every year at our house we have a big party kind of kick off the summer. This year it just happens to fall the weekend of my birthday, so the party's tomorrow.
Your 40th birthday.
40th birthday. Yeah, thanks. You're still older, you fuck.
Yeah, but I know.
Yeah. Whatever.
It's fun to see someone else suffer the same.
So our parties are nothing special. We don't have any big themes. It's just our house, music on the patio. We put a fire in the fire pit, and we got like horseshoes, beer pong, like just normal stuff at a party. But it goes on.
Yeah.
All
mountain climbing.
No. Yeah.
Strip rappelling.
Yeah. Yes, drunk splunking. Yeah.
I think
spelunking.
Spelunking.
Yes.
Spelunking comes later.
Yeah. Only if you're lucky.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, it turns out to be a fun time. Like last year, my neighbor who works, he's in charge of like a whole grounds crew at a golf course.
So what are you saying? He's Portuguese?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Yeah, his front lawn's perfect. His backyard is rocks. Yeah.
Are there grapes over the driveway on a trellis?
Those are across the street. But he goes to work at like he gets up the same time as Craig, but actually leaves to go to work and just doesn't eat fucking Fruit Loops for 2 hours. So he was getting up at like 4:00 in the morning last year, the day after our party, and there were still people on the patio ripping it up.
Yeah. Nice.
That's how things go. People. So we designate all the beds in our house for our friends.
There you go.
So like people are sleeping in my oldest daughter's bed. Someone's gonna sleep in my little man's bed. We've got a couple couches. It turns into kind of a shit show, but it's fun. Everybody has a good time. That's the thing. So it can get wild in that sense. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
So how is this going to help your drinking personality that your kids have indicated on several occasions? You know, Daddy might have a problem because they're buying you drinking gear at what is supposed to be the most magical place on earth.
Daddy, why are there all these curly hairs in my bed?
Exactly.
Oh, we just burn the sheets on Sunday. We go out, buy new linen the next day.
Daddy, it must be Daddy's birthday. My bed smells like pussy and regret again.
Daddy, I just cut my hand on my sheets.
Daughter comes out. Did somebody make a bad decision in my room?
Who painted the ceiling?
When your daughter finally becomes a teenager, she wants a black light.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fucked.
Yep.
They turn on the black light at Dave's house, and you just hear the Law and Order ding ding.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Off-White.
Yeah.
Dave's house is especially heinous.
But it's funny you mentioned like daddy drinking. It happened again this morning.
You were drinking this morning?
No. My kids realizing I have a problem. This time it was the baby.
Oh.
So I've been going into an office this week to work. So I've been getting up earlier, and I went downstairs to get breakfast ready. I'm out by like 6 this week.
Yeah.
And so I'm down there at like 5:45, and my wife left like she got me a card, and the baby, she let the baby pick out a card for me too, and left something on the counter.
Oh, Daddy's working.
Right.
Let's get him a card.
So I opened the cards, right, and my wife got me like a birthday card. It's kind of a jokey one, and then the other card she let the toddler pick out on her own. And I open it up, and it's like there's a cutout so you can see through, and it's like Snoopy.
Yeah.
So she probably gravitated because it's a dancing dog.
Yeah.
But it was something. It was a get well soon card for someone going to rehab. So just to recap, in the fall, my oldest daughter drew a picture of a bottle of Sam Adams and hung it on the fridge. Then knitted me a koozie for beer.
Yes.
My son made a shot glass out of wrapping paper, then went to Disney and got me a shot glass that says "Beach Please." And now the toddler is giving me a rehab card. I'm in full alcoholic, problematic drinking mode now. It's come full circle.
I think that's fantastic that your kid picked that one. It said 11th time is the charm.
Yeah.
You got him this time, Daddy.
Yeah. And part of me laughed, but part of me thought about what EJ said last week, like, my kids are assholes. Yeah. Right, like that. That was the first thought that I had when I read it.
It's kind of like what EJ said the next day. It was like, those fuckers are racist.
Yeah. When Dave had his son help him build the walkway to the front of his house, his son was like, is there going to be 12 steps?
Oh, shit. Well done, sir. Oh my God. So that I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I knew you guys were going to ask me about the week, and this morning when I read that, I thought, there it is.
Yep.
There it is. So that was my week wrapped up in a nutshell. Daddy's got issues.
Yep.
So Brad, how was your week, my friend?
Well, I think we haven't actually said it yet. We mentioned him 3 times already. Everybody here would like to give a tremendous thanks to EJ Edmonds for hanging out.
Oh, it was a blast.
And it wasn't just, we did, 3.5 hours of audio.
Yeah.
And then we hung out for another hour and a half to 2 hours after the fact.
We did the show, yeah.
This guy, it wasn't just about coming in and promoting his shit. He wanted to do a show. And he wanted to make people laugh, and he wanted to make us laugh. We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
We talked about how we come here each week to try to make each other laugh. He came here with the sole purpose of making us laugh, and mission accomplished.
Yeah,
oh, shit.
For sure.
We had an absolutely great time. This garage is always open for you, provided you want to drive back down to this part of the woods.
Yeah.
No, you're always welcome. We've been chatting all week. We can't thank you enough. So that was a great way to kick off the week.
Yeah.
Then I went to New York. Normally, this has a set of stories that usually involve a bus station or a train ride. Maybe something stupid happened there. Maybe it was related.
Accidental gay bar.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Cue the Law and Order music again.
Yeah.
It may have happened again, but it was a different kind of vibe. I was hunting around last night. I was just trying to find a bar. Now, the weather's been so nice, everybody's out.
Yeah.
So you can't find a bar to just sit and hang your hat and watch a ball game. All I wanted to do was watch hockey last night. And so I finally found a place. It was called Rumors, so that should have been my first indicator. but it had the Guinness sign out front. It had like the standard Irish bar trappings. I figured it was good. Not everybody in there was gay, but there was a lot of people. The neighborhood just happens to be very gay.
Yeah.
So I didn't really care. I went in there.
No,
I had a good fucking time. I watched the Bruins, but then at some point the music kicked in, and somebody got a hold of the jukebox, and yeah, it started precipitating males. And then it was just, and I can't listen to 2 hours of disco trying to watch a hockey game because
listen to Barbra Streisand and fucking watching a hockey game.
Well, that was it, because every time I'm like, oh, did you see that? He laid him out, and that has a whole different meaning to them.
The whole bar just shifts.
7 people sprinted to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But the best part of my trip happened today during a corporate meeting. People flew in for this event. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of the meeting. HIPAA compliance won't allow it.
Yes.
However, we did have an MC, another comedian.
All right.
Nice.
And this one, I'm not going to mention her name because, frankly, she's not going to like what I have to say. She came out, MC'd as herself, introduced herself, told her story, and I said, okay, so they hired a comic to basically MC a corporate meeting about projections and goals.
Yeah.
A different approach, but hey, you know what? A+ for effort.
Sure.
I'm all for it.
Thinking outside the box.
Within the first 3 jokes she makes, 2 of them are related to feces.
Sounds like my kind of comedian.
Yeah.
In a comedy club, absolutely. At a bar at 9 a.m., I might add, we had
9 a.m.
at a bar, okay, that he rented out a landing, the second floor landing. But it's not an enclosed room.
Okay.
Like, this is open
Like a
air.
loft.
Yeah, and it overlooked the beautiful bar. It'd be a really nice place. But you got the feeling that by 11 o'clock, this was going to turn into something entirely different, and oh, did it ever. But her 2 of her first 3 jokes are about people taking a shit downstairs because nobody up here, especially the CEO of the company, wants to smell your shit. So we're off to a bang-up start on a day where we all got our bonuses.
Yeah.
But then we found out she does characters. And I found this out by accident because I made the mistake of going downstairs for a minute. And now not to take a shit. But I went downstairs and I saw her come out and she's dressed like the spinning image. She looks like a cross between Sammy Davis Jr. and Randy Watson.
Sexual chocolate.
But either way, she's portraying a black male with a mustache, and she decides the best way to portray the mustache is through electrical tape.
Is it racist for a black comedian to do blackface?
It is now.
Yeah.
It is now. I mean, Sammy Davis Jr. with his bad eye could have seen that this was not a good thing. It was one of the worst impressions.
Was she able to pull off the 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock?
No. But she did do that, like the jaw shaking side to side thing.
Oh my God.
And she was doing cha-cha-cha. But as it turns out, there was some kind of legal reason she couldn't call herself Sammy Davis Jr. So she decided, well, I can't be like Sammy Davis Sr., or maybe I could be Sammy Schmavis. No, she decides, I'm just going to call this character Edwin. And I'm going to host the event as Sammy Davis Jr. as Edwin. Then proceeds to make a bunch more bodily function jokes.
Oh my God.
Stays in character. Now, this is a 6-hour meeting. We're in this bar for 6 hours. She doesn't change out of this costume. She led off the day as herself and then proceeded to play Sammy Davis the rest of the day.
How frequently did she come up and like transition between?
I'd say every 20 to 30 minutes.
All right, so she was actively involved all day.
And like an MC, she was doing shtick every break. Telling us where to go and this and that, but she's doing it as this guy. At one point, one of my coworkers, he's from the Middle East, and so he's got a thick accent. And she decided to make fun of him by doing the stereotypical Middle Eastern accent.
Wait, did she do it as Sammy Davis?
Well, it sounded like at any given moment he could have given you a very Arab cha-cha-cha. It was, my boss is looking at me. Like, she's like, is this happening? Is this fucking happening? And I looked at her and I pinched her and she pinched me. And no, it wasn't a fever dream. We weren't actually drugged in an alley somewhere together. This was happening. She then proceeds to start making comments about the projections and the targets and the goals. And remember what I just told you about HIPAA compliance.
Yeah.
At this point in the day, the bar is now full. It's Friday afternoon. It's a lunch rush. in the middle of Midtown New York City. There are children everywhere. Shit jokes are a-flying. Language is flying. And then in return, we can hear the Irish bartenders downstairs going, when are they going to fucking end this fucking meeting? And that's just wafting right up to the rafters. So we can't hear our boss tell us the company's doing great, but I can hear fucking Seamus downstairs telling us.
Why do they keep shitting downstairs?
3 plungers today. Christ on a crutch, we gave him the fucking bean dish. And then we left and we got our bonuses, but the scars remain. I have never in my life been to a corporate meeting so fucked up in my life. And then she hands me her business card, which incidentally is just a zoomed out snapshot of her Facebook page. Like she did a screen capture of her Facebook page and then said, yep, that's the look I'm going for. Hey, you couldn't even read Facebook. Like you couldn't even see the logo. But this is the best way to portray her. She also does Sammy Davis Jr., she does Wendy Williams, she does Whoopi Goldberg, and for some reason she's a clown.
Is it Homie the Clown?
Oh God!
What?
No, it's bad because it probably is.
Yeah, it probably is. But she's like, Stevie, don't play that. She can't be Homie.
Stevie, don't play that.
I can't call him Homie. Let me just pick another name. How about Ezekiel?
Yeah.
She was a clown. Like I appreciate anybody who has the balls to get up there and do this, but you know what? Know your audience. You can't read a room in 2 minutes and then make a shit joke in front of somebody who just announced a $25 million gross earnings.
Yeah.
Like those are big numbers with lots of commas. You don't talk to him that way. Shit downstairs.
Shit downstairs.
2 plungers. Other than that, I had a great train ride home.
Nice.
Use the Acela.
Yeah,
that's all.
You get a deal on your tickets, right?
I got a sick deal. I rode business class on top of it. So I
damn.
was sitting there. I had leg room for days. And it skips all the shitty towns in Connecticut, which is redundant.
Which
really.
is basically Connecticut.
Yeah.
So it went from New York to Rhode Island.
Yeah, but in a flash, like next thing you know, we're crossing into Rhode Island. If you want to start gathering your things now, we'll be in Providence in 8 minutes.
That's
as
awesome.
we're in Wesley. This thing fucking screams.
Yeah.
They take you right up there. Also, better food. Like they've got like real boar's head cold cuts that they make fresh sandwiches.
Really?
They have a better selection of beer, and they're friendly people who don't hate their jobs and their lives.
Wow.
Yep.
So go with Acela. It's kind of, sometimes you're worth the extra money. And since I kind of knew I was getting my bonus, I was worth the extra money because it's all coming back to me anyway. Fuck it. They're getting that bill tomorrow.
Is it just the one stop in Providence? For
No,
Rhode
you
Island?
stop in Stamford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And then you stop in sometimes in New Haven, but not today.
Okay.
And then Providence, and then they stop one more time before Boston. And
Wow.
that's it.
All right.
Yeah, so you scream
That's
up
pretty
these guys.
good.
Yeah, that's vast.
Highly recommend it. Worth the cash.
Yeah, for sure. I used to
hell
hate
yeah.
driving down to New York and New Jersey. Like I was always gambling between Providence and New Haven. For the most part, was easy. Once you get there, you've got to make a decision. Do I stay on 95? Do I jump on the Merit? Where do I go? It was always a shit show. It never mattered. I hated it.
See, I never not for business or anything, but like me and my wife going to New York. We know we'll go to the city for the weekend. We always take Greyhound because I don't feel like driving because I don't want to go there and deal with my car and parking it. You
You want to sit in someone else's piss for 3 hours?
Yeah, exactly. But I have to say though, on the I had one bad trip on the numerous times that we've gone. I've only had one time that it sucked.
Really?
And it was just because this woman was directly behind us, and immediately the bus didn't even leave yet, and she just started talking on her cell phone loudly and talked for the whole entire 3 hours and 45 minutes on her phone.
God.
Like non-stop.
It's one thing if you're on the phone, but just tone it down.
And loudly.
That's the
thing.
thing.
That was the thing. It was loud.
I had a woman today who was hosting a conference call with got to be 30 other people. And she's like, I'm on the train. You're going to have to forgive the Wi-Fi. But she's screaming like, hi, hello in Sweden. Hello, hello. Oh, it was mostly greetings. Then she shut up.
Yeah.
So, but why would you choose this day to travel? Like stay home and then catch a flight or something if
Yeah.
you really got to be somewhere.
So, but like I said, I've never, and I'd rather do that than drive there, and for myself, I don't know. I don't want to drive in the city and have to park my fucking truck somewhere for fucking $900 a day.
It's not worth $900. Period.
$54 an hour now to park your car.
Come on.
$54 an hour.
It's fucking insane. New York City's fucking insane.
I have a cousin that lives in the city. He does the same thing. He and his wife, they take the bus back and forth when they come up here.
Well, I bought a bottle of nasal spray last night. For some reason, I was all clogged up. I couldn't breathe. Bought a bottle of nasal spray.
Scott, you left one in my back seat.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know Flonase came in gallon-sized bottles.
I wouldn't use it again.
Really? And they do if you know who to ask. But the guy, the little bottle.
It looks like one of those things that they feed the baby cats with.
Buys his Nasacort at BJ's.
Fucking Tractor Supply. What are you talking about?
He's gonna step on it to get it to come out the nozzle.
I've actually got a foot pump, like a tattoo gun. But anyway, they didn't have that size at CVS, but they did charge me $12.99 for a little bottle of Afrin. Wow. And I said to the guy, I said, well, when do I expect the hooker? And he looked at me because also Middle Eastern. Like the comedian would have had a blast with this guy.
Oh, yeah.
But he said to me, he's like, what are you saying, sir? And I'm like, clearly this $12.99 gets me nasal spray and a blowjob I'll enjoy later.
Yeah.
And then I realized it's like a woman with her children right behind me. But I wasn't letting this go. $12.99 for a bottle of fucking Afrin. Dollar store has them for, well, $1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
Well, I went when it was the last time me and my wife were in New York. I went down. I left the hotel room. It was nighttime, and my wife was tired. We were out all day, and I'm like, "Fuck this! I'm fucking gonna keep drinking," because we had been drinking through the day. She fell asleep.
Sounds like Brad's business trips.
I'm like, I'm going downstairs. I'm gonna go get some. Actually, I was texting Brad the whole time. Where's there a tattoo parlor? Remember that? I'm like, I'm gonna take it. All of a sudden, I was going to get tattoos.
What he wasn't expecting is me to have an immediate answer.
Yeah.
But I knew exactly. I mean, obviously they're everywhere, but there's one strip at St. Mark's Place. It's called.
Yeah,
and there's like 5 in a row.
I just wanted the one with the least AIDS. That's what I was looking for.
All bets are off, pal.
Yeah.
3 in the morning going for a drunken tattoo. Yeah. You kind of expect the hepatitis to come with it.
So I walked out of the hotel. I told my wife, I said, I'll be right back. I'm going to run to the store at the corner because there was a liquor store right like 2 feet away. So I go and right when I walk down the stairs, I take a right. There's a store right there. I walk inside. I'm like, sweet, so convenient. Yeah, it was fucking $17 for a 6-pack. Oh my God. I was like, what? Are you out of your fucking mind? So I'm like, how much for that bottle of rum?
Yeah, right?
He's like, $24. I'm like, I'll take that.
I'm
like, it's got way more fucking booze in it. You know, I get a free soda in the fucking lobby at the fucking hotel. I was like, fuck this.
You know, I like how he buys a bottle of rum and a Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that was a good night. That was the night before the incident that I had.
It all comes back to the shit story.
Yeah. No.
At least ours were funny. Now, this woman today just said, "Don't shit upstairs. Nobody wants to smell your shit." Way to go, great year, company.
But you're talking about people playing characters and stuff. One of the things I did this week was I watched the live All in the Family.
Oh, that was this week?
Well, I don't know. It was on Hulu.
You just watched it?
Well, obviously it was yeah. But I just watched it on Hulu.
All right.
So it must have aired the night before or something. But they aired it just the way they did it, live broadcast. And they did that and the Jeffersons. Marissa Tomei played Edith.
Really?
It was incredible.
Really?
She was fucking spot on.
I was worried that they were going to do like a reboot kind of thing.
No.
And it was a tribute. They did a word-for-word reenactment of the episode of All in the Family where they meet the Jeffersons.
Yes.
And then that bled into, they redid the pilot of the Jeffersons back.
The Jeffersons are just about to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just about to leave. Like, this is the first time they,
Yeah.
And, but Marissa Tomei plays Edith. It was incredible. She did the walking,
No shit.
everything. It was flawless.
Wow.
She was perfect. I mean, I say flawless, but I mean it
as,
was
as good as you can get
as
without
good
having
as you can
Edith.
get without having Edith.
Sure.
She
Wow.
did the voice. She did the whole 9 yards. Woody Harrelson was Archie. You could see a couple of times he struggled to you could see he started to act, and then realize oh wait, I got to be Archie.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he kept saying Goyle, but wicked,
Oh,
hard
yeah.
Goyle. You know how Archie had that accent, you know?
Oh yeah, he had that Irish Queen stuff.
Yeah. Which was good, but
It didn't sound natural.
it didn't sound natural, but he did a good job. He was funny. It was good. The house was identical.
Well, that was the set.
It was the
they used
set.
the actual
That
set?
was the set.
Wow.
And even that, he puts the coat on and puts the hat on, and it's the same fucking jacket and hat. You know, and he's gonna leave.
That's kind of cool.
It was actually really cool. And the guy, I can't remember his
Meathead?
name. That's what I'm saying.
He's a comedian. You know him.
You know him. He was on Mad TV.
And he's been on every one of those fucking Seth Rogen movies you love so much.
Yeah.
He's been in all of them.
He was good, and he played it well. He did a good job.
Ellie Kemper played Sally Struthers' role.
It was,
She wasn't good.
but Sally Struthers' role wasn't that important.
all right, but she made it her own.
She made it, yeah.
Ellie Kemper was probably the weakest link.
Yeah.
But
I
she
would
doesn't
say.
have giant saddlebags filled with flies and rice.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll take the trade-off.
Yeah.
I didn't feel filthy watching her.
No.
She's kind of hot.
Then the Jeffersons came in, and now I'll tell you right now, straight up, I fucking can't stand Jamie Foxx. I fucking can't stand him.
I'm with you.
I fucking can't
And
stand
Brad
him,
makes 3.
right?
Yeah, no,
He did a great fucking job.
he peaked at Shanae.
So many actors have said that.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was peaked on Sinead.
that's right.
that was
did-
Hugh Grant.
He did a fantastic job as George Jefferson. He really did. I mean, he had the movements down, you know, the constant shifting and moving around, and you know the quick one line short bursts. It was good. And the other one was Wanda Sykes, who played his wife.
I like
And
Wanda Sykes.
I don't mind her. She was good too. She actually was probably the most convincing of all of them. For some reason, with me, it just because his wife wasn't like a crazy over the top character. She was the voice of reason.
She
all
kept
the time.
him in line because
She
he
kept
always
him
had
in
his
line.
flights of fancy. you
Yeah.
know?
And you expect Wanda Sykes, that maybe that was it. Because you expect Wanda Sykes to be over the top and loud, and she wasn't. She was subtle and did her thing. And it was actually perfect. It was convincing.
Who played their white neighbor?
Which one? The English guy?
No, the one, the mixed marriage.
Will Ferrell.
No shit. I didn't. Obviously, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I saw bits and pieces of the Archie thing, but I have not watched these specials. Will Ferrell showed up and played. Oh my god.
The other guy was Ike Barinholtz, who played Meathead.
Yes.
His name.
Yes.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
I can never remember his name. I've seen him. He's been in everything. He's actually a pretty funny guy.
Yeah, you're right. But you're right, Brad. He's a guy you see, you're like, oh yeah.
He's a that guy.
He's a young that guy,
He's
yeah.
he's a current that guy, is what it is.
It never ends.
It never ends.
We're just making new ones.
They're making new ones. He's a current comedic that guy.
Somewhere Dylan Baker is going, hey.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, fuck them, man. I've been in like fucking 60 more. Hey, wait a minute.
If you've ever had a number attached to your role, you're that guy.
But I was impressed. I watched it, and to be honest with you, I would love to see him do it again.
Really?
Yeah, it was that.
Was that good?
It was that good that I said, you know what? I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't want him to turn it into a series.
So it was good because they did it, as Brad said, line for line, scene for scene.
Yeah,
right?
It was a tribute to Norman Lear because, let's be real, in
guys-
96, he's farting dust.
But
Yeah.
let me tell you something though. That guy, he was fucking talk about having your faculties.
oh, yeah, sharp as a tack.
Sharp as a tack.
Until he isn't.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I mean-
96 is pushing it for anybody.
And this is a guy who at one time had 5 of the top 10 shows on television at the same time.
No shit.
Yeah.
I have no idea how he got his finger on the pulse of like black culture, because we've made fun of Good Times on here. We did last week with the damn.
Yeah, he was one of those guys that at the time, like, barriers were starting to be broken, because All in the Family was really the first show to tackle racism and all that stuff. I mean, granted, ironically, the biggest barrier breaker of Star Trek was the first interracial kiss. You know what I mean? But this is going into someone. I think he was more of a. I think everybody is equal. Type, he was that type of person.
I get it, but he actually got. I'm sorry for interrupting, but he actually really got to what it was like living there. That was implied to be the Cabrini Green projects in Chicago, which at the time was literally the worst place in Chicago.
Yeah,
like I think they said the movie Candyman was there as well. Like, this is what, like, it was the most crime-ridden place in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they've since imploded them. Like, they don't even exist anymore, those buildings. But that shot, that's the Cabrini Green project. How did Norman Lear, Jewish guy from New York, get his finger on the pulse and actually come up with some real storylines?
Yeah.
We make fun of the woman who ate cat food, and yes, because it's still fucking funny.
Yeah, yeah.
But, clearly somebody came to him with that story idea and said, yeah, people are so poor here, this is what they're resorting to.
Yeah.
At the time, I think cat food was 17 cents a can. If you can keep your belly full for that long. How did Norman Lear know this?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know. And I'm going to still make fun of Good Times, by the way.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying this is a guy who had these top shows,
What were the other shows he had? Because I don't know if.
Well, it was that, the Jeffersons. I think was it Good Times?
Oh, yeah, he did Good Times.
Good Times. Not Sanford and Son.
No, but I think he did Maude.
Oh,
okay.
That's where, what's her name came from? Esther Roll.
Esther Rolls, yeah.
She played Florida Evans in Maude, but she talked about it. She had a different husband. She didn't have any kids. Like, the whole marriage was different. Next thing you know, she's in Chicago. Maude was in New York. That's a hell of a. That's how poor they were. She had to drive to New York every day just to work as a housekeeper.
But they did. I mean, I watched it, and it kind of brought it back to when when I was a kid watching that stuff. So it did bring it back, and they didn't hack it. That's what I was afraid they were going to hack it up and be shitty.
I think they're going to do this now. They're going to be tributes to directors.
I think and they probably should be.
I think you'll see Family Ties sooner rather than later, because that Gary David Goldberg guy, I think he's one of the ones that died in 9/11.
Yep.
I think you're probably going to see a Family Ties one. I know they're already rebooting Frasier. That's the worst kept secret.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But if you're going to reboot shit,
reboot it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what keeps happening right now in Hollywood. Everything's getting rebooted. So how about just doing a tribute to those shows, doing that live show? They did it live. They actually came all out and did it scene to scene live.
The trouble with the tribute is it's almost a one and done. You go with the reboot and you start to look at building another franchise.
I don't think they should reboot, because I'm tired of it too.
Yeah.
Like I said, Frasier's coming back now.
Why?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know how to do anything.
Because Big Bang ended?
Yeah, probably.
Basically. I think...
And they know that I'm sorry.
No.
Let me cut you. But they know that the pilot's going to draw in fucking 50 million viewers.
Everyone who liked the show will
tune
I got
in.
2 words for you. Murphy Brown. Done.
Yeah. Done.
One and done, because it was terrible. Yeah. But I think if you do these tributes, they got to be done right, and you got to pay homage to it. But you also have to let these new actors shine. They didn't bring Will Ferrell in because he was the best choice for that. No. It was stunt casting at its finest. It was to get people buzzing about it. But why get people buzzing about a one-off event if you're not already planning to do it again? Yeah. So I don't know. Jamie Foxx is not going to do network television.
No.
He's still too big for that.
Yeah.
So I get a feeling they're probably planning There'll probably be a Sanford and Son. There'll probably be 70 shows just coming out of the way.
I would like to see a Sanford and Son.
Who would play Sanford?
I was just gonna. I was just gonna say that would be. Tough. That's a good call.
You want to talk about our non-theme for the week? Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who could be Sanford?
Know who would be great for it right now? A little bigger and maybe deeper voiced, but for some reason, I picture oh fuck. I just lost his name.
What's he been in? Let's help you find it.
I'm sorry. The voice of Darth Vader.
James Earl Jones?
James Earl Jones.
No
He's
way,
a little-
too polished.
No, but he is, but he isn't. He doesn't have to be. That's the thing is he can portray that rough around. For some reason, I
don't
picture
know.
him.
Like I think Brad's right. His voice is too crisp.
And it's too
and too
iconic.
distinctive.
Yeah.
We all know James Earl
Yeah,
Jones.
but
He's
we all know Woody
he's fucking
Harrelson.
Mufasa
just
right now.
played-
He can't do it.
Yeah.
Again. Still? Again?
Again,
Yeah.
he's the only actor they brought back for that.
But
That's what I mean. Iconic, right?
Yeah.
You can't do it. Try again.
Try again. All right.
I'm going to say Wanda Sykes.
Lawrence Fishburne, maybe.
Nah, because he's doing it now on Blackish. He's playing the crotchety old guy on Blackish.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, but
I don't think that would make him a good Sanford. Fred Sanford was so...
distinctive. That's the thing.
He was distinctive by being non-distinctive. He was so sloppy and rough around the
Yeah.
edges.
Yeah.
I don't think even Lawrence Fishburne could do that.
No.
That's
He
a
was-
hell of an acting.
He was a smaller guy too. I remember him being like shorter.
He was
in
short,
stature.
yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a Red Fox T-shirt. It says, you got to wash your ass.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wear it and I forget that the kids are up. They're like, why do you got to wash a donkey, Daddy? Because they get dirty. They know, just like your kids know you're a drunk.
Yeah, they do.
He was hilarious. I loved that show. I still love that show. I'll watch it when it's on. I'll watch it.
I want to know who's going to play Grady. They're probably... the guy who played Grady disappeared. And Conan O'Brien, the best thing he ever did on his show when he was doing 12:30 on NBC was actually he set out to find Grady. And this is pre-internet. So he had to go into like...
Actually, go look.
Go
Yeah,
look.
go
And they
look.
found him through phone records and bank records. They found Grady and brought him on the show. And he was living a very quiet life in Mississippi, just like he thought he would be.
No
and he was
shit.
living in like this one-room trailer. Like he had no life, you know?
Wow.
But they
Yeah.
found Grady. They brought him out on stage, got a hero's web. This was like 6 months of work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right now, I think the three of us could find Grady like now.
Yeah.
You know, we'd probably book him a flight.
Yeah, cemetery. The cemetery is probably like in fucking
Yeah.
Mississippi.
He would just have the urns FedEx to us overnight.
But still, I'm still trying to think. Then so you don't like my choices.
No, I
What
don't.
about yours?
Well, I didn't really bring this up. but
No,
okay.
no, but you went with it. You ran with it,
I think...
and immediately went. My choice.
Well,
So-
it's because you suck out loud. All right, I think Lamont should be played. Let's start with Lamont.
okay.
Because Lamont was the worst part of that show. Because he was such a wishy-washy, and he was a terrible actor. Whoever played that guy should have never had the opportunity. They
Yeah.
must have really liked his mustache. Like, there's no other reason that guy should have ever been allowed in Hollywood. Okay, when you look bad surrounded by fake Hollywood junk, you got outclassed. You know, they had so many good lines on that show, but none of them came from Lamont.
Yeah.
So I guess if we're thinking about a really bad black actor, we got to go Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Will
would be a
Smith
good Lamont.
would make a great Lamont. He might be too talented for Lamont, but
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to go with Will Smith just because it's a black role, and Will Smith is automatically assumed to be a part of it
Yeah.
because that's how Hollywood works.
Yeah.
Playing Red Fox, I'd have to go with Cedric the Entertainer.
That's not.
Oh,
bad.
that's not a bad. You know what's funny is I can't stand him.
I don't like him either.
I don't like him. But now that you say it, he actually would probably be perfect for that.
He could do that like
I
rough
think yeah.
voice. He's
I think that would be.
he might not be short, but he's kind of like he's heavier. So he
Oh, no,
looks
he's short.
Is
Yeah,
he?
no, yeah, he is. And I think, yeah. To be honest with you, as much as I can't stand the guy, I think you were right.
That's pretty good.
That's a
Cedric
pretty
the
good.
Entertainer and Will Smith in Sanford and Son. He's going to play his sister-in-law.
I'd rather-
Apple.
Ethel,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
Ethel, that
Ethel.
was it. But who would
You
play
smash your face in some dough, making some gorilla cookies.
best line in it?
Best line ever. Actually, had my buddy Ricky's band. They were playing out. They didn't have a name for the band.
yeah.
And they were like, we need a band. We need a name for the band because they were the fucking lady was trying to write it on the board out front. So I'm like, Gorilla Cookies. Oh, they were the Gorilla Cookies for like 3 years. You can ask Ricky tomorrow about that. I said, Gorilla Cookies. You got to do it.
Gorilla.
Yeah.
I'm in.
But shit, who could play her?
Probably be someone like Monique.
You need a tall,
heavy set.
No, she wasn't wicked heavy set.
Her tits were at her kneecaps.
Yeah, but you can do that with movie
You can
magic.
put on a bodysuit. Just fucking get Martin Lawrence.
Exactly. Just get Eddie Murphy.
Make him think he's
Eddie
relevant.
Murphy. Yep.
Martin Lawrence could play Lamont.
I was thinking John Boyega. He'd be a good fit.
Really?
Wow.
One black guy in Star Wars who's British.
You're gonna make him Ethel. I mean,
Not Ethel.
Esther. I mean,
No.
Wasn't
Esther.
it was
Son.
Esther, right? Yeah.
Aunt Esther.
He could
Yeah.
be the son.
Lamont. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be Lamont.
With a British accent and talent.
He could drop the accent.
Yeah, he can drop the accent. British people can drop the accent on a dime. American people are just horrible at. Yeah, have you seen what do you call it? Lives in England now. What's her name from X-Files? Gillian Anderson, and she does a show, a British show, and she has a British accent.
Come on.
And it's god awful.
Oh, Madonna did this too.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
I hate those people.
Well, honestly, both of them are trash.
Yeah.
true.
They're trash people. If you like Madonna, you're wrong.
Yeah.
There you go. My wife can't. She'll be T-minus 5, 4, 3. And that's me getting smacked in the head. Craig, we got to cut that.
We need a what do you call it? Who's gonna play the Puerto Rican guy from across the street? Was it?
Oh, who played? It was, what's his name? Freddie Prinze Sr., wasn't it?
No.
Oh, no, he was Chico.
He was Chico. That was Chico and the Man.
You're going to go with Leguizamo?
Well, we have to, just because it's this show. Yeah. And the segment's going way too long. John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo. There you go.
Richard Thomas.
How about that kid that was in Half Baked? The Hispanic kid in Half Baked. He'd be good.
There you go.
Was it also John Leguizamo?
No.
So you got me saying his name wrong. I'm like, without even thinking about it now. Yeah. I haven't said Leguizamo properly in months. Illiteracy is contagious.
Yeah.
It's phonetic. It's Leguizamo.
You added 6 eyes.
Sounds like a sandwich I would buy downtown.
I'll take a large Leguizamo.
I bet you would.
Hold the grease.
Hold the grease.
I want mine dry. Get them right out of the shower.
Oh, shit.
All right. So, yeah, it's pretty obvious. We didn't really have much of a plan, but we did realize it's been, 8 weeks since we've done headlines.
Yeah. Headlines give us a chance to just kind of riff off of shit and kind of bounce it around. It's been a while. Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing some heavy-duty themes. We've been doing a lot of these deep thinking episodes. Some people, quite frankly, haven't liked it.
Yeah.
You know, and
different.
we appreciate that. I'm not saying it's going away. I think we like having these conversations. And, you know, honestly, we're not that big a show, so fuck it. We're just going to do what we do.
We did just say we're here for ourselves, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, you know? I mean, why should we limit our conversation because 8 people out of the couple hundred people that check us out really think that we should be doing this?
Yeah.
I think, you know, sometimes we just want to be stupid. Tonight's one of those nights. But we've gotten away from the headlines. I think we consciously got away from the headlines a bit because we were making obvious jokes about things that were already funny.
Yes.
And
so a lot of the headlines we talked about told that was the joke.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't go anywhere, I think.
But when the 3 of us get together on the Google Doc and in the Messenger chat, we're always like, oh, yeah, here's another headline. And boom, it's another guy getting his dick caught in a fucking outboard motor. or, you know, it's like, oh, yeah, man fucks dog bites him.
Yeah.
You know, details at 11. I don't understand why we can't get normal headlines. Maybe that's why we should continue to stop. But we'll give it a shot.
It's because they're there, and as soon as we see them, they're funny. So we just, check this out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you notice also lately we've been doing a lot of these weird, thematic tie-ins. You know, when we're not doing a guest or we're not doing something like The Hat, we're doing something that's got kind of a narrative thread through it. And the headlines this week that we picked actually kind of line up with something that we've talked about a lot, is that we're going backwards as people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And our first headline actually speaks to that in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a series of scientists. The headline is this: independent scientists claim that we are living in 1722, not 2019.
Yeah.
And it's not like a time travel thing. They just think somebody made a serious fucking clerical mistake.
It's actually more of almost a conspiracy. that was done by the Pope and an emperor. I'm not sure which emperor it was. I can't remember. I read the article, but I can't remember what it was. And what they did was they tried to position themselves into a point to be around the year 1000, which was a big tie-in to some religious stuff and other things. So they did it. They think that they did it purposely, and they skipped from 800 to 1100 because everybody else, fucking Johnny fucking Farmer on the corner, wasn't looking at his calendar. The guy was like, I just hope no one comes and cuts my head off tonight.
I have more pressing concerns.
Yeah, I've got more pressing concerns. And then, is it Tuesday? Because it doesn't fucking matter. I'm working 24/7. You know what I mean?
I'm still trying to picture some kid named Johnny in the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Some fucking millennial that won't wear his chainmail. Still living on his parents' farm doing nothing.
Yeah, he's got wicked tight chainmail on.
But it's still halfway down his ass.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I only drink goat's milk.
Yeah.
Douche.
No, but so there's a pretty...
Is that locally sourced? Everything is locally sourced. I spent a week with millennials. You really are the fucking dregs of society. And there's a Gen Zer. They're even worse.
Yo,
They're even worse because they think they're improving on millennials. And they're conscious of this. You're not. And you're in it. By the way, I worked with a girl whose generation was the same as my 10-year-old daughter. Oh. I want to put the two of them in a room and let it fight it out and see what happens. Nobody's coming out smarter, I'll tell you that.
But this was some pretty legitimate stuff. These guys, this research that they're doing is pretty legitimate. These guys are...
So what do they have to support this claim that these leaders decided to just skip 300 years of calendar time and say, you know what? At the new year, it's 1,000. It's not 700 anymore.
It was a transition from one calendar to the next, which was the shit. I should have pulled it up. It was when we transitioned from one calendar to the next, which is the Roman calendar or whatever it is.
Yep.
They think that for one there was a mistranslation.
All right.
And for the other, it really didn't matter.
Because not like everyone then had smartphones and knew what the date
even
was.
Right now,
so you're saying this happened later, where somebody looked back in history and said this was a dark period. We want our time to be matched up with this calendar, whether it be lunar or church-based. And I'm gonna roll the dice on church-based.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
And they put themselves closer to a time that was more fitting with certain things in the Bible and stuff not in the Bible necessarily, but certain things that were important in their time.
All right.
And they think that between mistranslations and then a little bit of a conspiracy between the Pope and this emperor saying, hey, if we do this, we can kind of speed things up a little bit.
What,
nobody
to get us to what,
knows.
the end of days? They just want to take 300 years off our sentence and just end shit quicker?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. But, I mean, the research is actually pretty legitimate in a sense that there was discrepancies because there's this lack of record keeping.
During the dark... I've read this before. Yeah, there's virtually no records during this time.
Yeah.
It's all the beheadings that was getting in the way of people taking notes.
Yeah.
And things got screwed up, and they think that it's possible.
It makes
that
sense.
We lost a couple of 100 years.
It makes sense way back then. I can't imagine most of the population didn't even keep track of calendars. They paid attention to seasons and things. That were, I'm sure, but
harvest.
I'm sure, like you said, whoever living out in the middle of nowhere didn't have a calendar in their house.
No,
they knew
that's what I mean. They were like,
summer,
it's
spring.
harvest season.
Yeah.
It's planting time.
Yeah. They went
It's
by
winter.
lunar
I
and
hope we
solar
don't die.
cycles. Yeah.
That was it.
That makes sense.
You know?
So realistically, they're saying we're back in what, the 1700s?
1722.
I'm just happy because that time I shit myself in the front of the house is perfectly acceptable now.
Well, that's what I was saying. And then I was also thinking there's still fucking the chance for fucking Y2K. It's still a possibility.
We get there. I knew it.
I don't care because that's like 300 years from now. I don't give a shit. And all those people that are predicting the end of the world at certain dates could still be right.
If that lines up with the Mayan calendar, holy shit.
Well, actually, but that's another thing. The Mayan calendar is a celestial calendar. So everybody, that's why when people say, fucking, the Mayans didn't even know what December 21st was. No, they didn't. And they didn't give a fuck about December 21st.
No.
It's a celestial calendar that just happens to line up with our date.
It's a solstice. It's the start of winter. That's what they knew.
That December 21st was our date. We put that number on it. They didn't.
Look at this intelligence coming from a guy who wanted James Earl Jones to be Sanford.
He just wants Darth Vader back. Fucking nerd.
In a trash.
Yeah.
No, but I used to have that argument with people
Come here,
all the time.
Lamont.
When people used to bash the Mayans about the whole end of the world thing, and I used to say they never said it was the end of the world.
No, it was the start of a new cycle.
Start of a new cycle for them, and it was just their calendar ended and it restarted. Didn't mean the world was going to end. It just because what it is.
It is going to mean this segment's going to end.
Yeah. I can't help thinking like all those Heaven's Gate assholes are standing there. They just got there 300 years early.
But I'm going to give you
fuck.
What it actually was is their cycles. All their cycles were is as we travel around the galaxy.
The Mayans synced up their cycles with the Catholics.
They did. As our solar system travels around the edge of the galaxy, it also goes up and down. As we orbit the center of the galaxy, it goes up and down.
I get sometimes
I'm December 21st of 2000, whatever it was when we lined up perfectly with the center, and then with the center of the galaxy, and then we go above.
And that was the one night that Fran was satisfied.
Down. Yes.
No. Sometimes I admire your persistence. Others, I just want to punch you in the throat.
Well, I'm trying to tell you. These guys want to know.
We didn't ask.
Nobody asked for this. Not even a little bit.
We just wanted to make shit jokes.
Right?
The whole thing's so fucked up for me. I mean, my mind is blown that like a story told over time manages to lose focus, clarity, and believability. Like if there was only a book that everybody owned, that was a lot like that. It's kind of what I meant by like I know there's a religious connection here.
Well, what's the Jewish calendar at right now?
What,
5,000
7,500, and it's the week of feeling guilty.
Yeah. Well, there's that, but no, but it's like 5,000 something. You know, so that's what I mean. There's so many different calendars, and we've just centered on this one. Some guy could have been like, "Yeah, it's fucking whatever" when he started, because in all honesty, it's actually like fucking 4.2 billion. Yeah. You know what I mean? The actual year is that. So
hey, you know, there was one dinosaur who was just a little more advanced. He was going 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. 2.
Yeah.
1 was not as good as 2.
Yeah.
And then they died from an asteroid.
Yeah.
Can we move on, please? Let's move on to something Craig could talk about a lot more accessibly. Former U.S. defense official, we know UFOs are real. Here's why that's concerning. All right, me and Dave are going to go take a 4-hour break.
Pretend we're still here.
This is actually interesting to me, and I watched the show. It's actually really cool. But who would have thought that if there was anybody, because other countries are starting to release stuff, and it's been going on for about 5 or 6 years now.
Yep.
Where other countries are starting to release what they know. And the United States is still like standing fast. Like, we don't know what you're talking about. You know, we've done this, we've done that. And they'll acknowledge a little bit here, a little bit there. Now it's getting to a point where they're like, yeah, in between 2015, it was the year 2015, there was over 200 and something sightings by name. It was
pilots.
almost daily. It was daily off the East Coast of the United States.
This isn't just people in their backyards. These are pilots.
Pilots. Daily. Navy pilots.
Yeah.
Daily. For a full year. It was actually went on a little longer than that, I think.
Yep.
But who would have thought the guy that was going to finally get the American government to say, all right, here's what we know, is the guy from Blink 182.
Touche.
Tom DeLonge. But he's a smart guy. And
he got his balls busted for a long time.
He did.
He decided to step away from music and pursue this project.
And people, like, you start listening to these guys, and these are guys, this is the fucking DOD, like, high-ranking DOD guy. Guys from Lockheed Martin, like, high-ranking people with clearances, with intelligence clearances that are so high, like, higher than the president.
Yeah.
You know? And these guys are like, motherfucker knows what he's talking about. we're gonna deal with him.
Yeah. These pilots, now there's video footage of a lot of the stuff now.
A lot of video.
And you can hear the raw audio of them talking.
What the fuck is that? What is
it? And it's not like they're saying, hey, look, there's a UFO off this. No, it's like, hey, we have something out here. We're tracking it.
We got a bogey. And then it's doing...
What is it?
And they're doing maneuvers that no modern plane can pull off.
Yeah.
And they're doing it without an exhaust trail. And that's what blew them off more than anything.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no evidence of propulsion.
Yeah.
So this is a big deal. The bigger deal, and I'm going to throw it right out there.
No.
If this shit's coming out and all the governments aren't fighting it, what do they have that we can't see?
That we can't, yeah.
If this is considered now, all right, yeah, trickle a little bit out. Like, let's give them a teaser.
Yeah.
What's coming?
What's coming?
Okay, giant asteroid. We're screwed.
No.
I'm saying we're all fucked. The government's like, tell them. They're all dead anyway in a month.
Yeah.
That's one theory, and you're not the first one to say that. I actually asked some of my coworkers this week because I read this headline. I was blown away. The fact that we're just saying, all right, you know what? You all know. Okay, this thing managed to just sneak into orbit. All the amateur astronomers out there missed this thing entirely because this thing's probably got a cloaking device, or it's just traveling too fucking fast.
Way too fucking fast.
Showing up here, scouting mission. Guess what they're finding? A landing spot. And then 20 years ago, another Will Smith movie coming true.
Yeah.
And then this is it. And I hope they could have blown up the White House. This could be applause.
Or to be honest with you, they could give a fuck. And they're just like, hey, let's go check this out, like we do when the National Geographic guy goes to fucking the Antarctic and he's filming fucking penguins and polar bears.
Yeah.
You know, the guy's like, I'm gonna hide behind this blind so they don't see me, and I'm gonna film them, and then I'm gonna leave.
You really think they don't give a fuck? They engaged our pilots. They
did.
Okay, they didn't attack, but they engaged our pilots, and
they didn't have to.
And then they darted.
They made themselves known.
Okay, but they made their presence known, and they basically showed off.
Yeah.
As much as an alien being, I mean, for all we know, they're just like us.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe it's not. Maybe it could be interdimensional. Which is that? Well, that's a big thing too. Is maybe it's not. It could be an interdimensional thing. We know that there are different dimensions now.
We know that.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much been proven.
Yeah, government leaked that too. Like they're just letting it all hang out.
Well, I mean, just through like that's been proved. Like not proven, but the theory is pretty much proven.
Okay.
Through physics and like with the CERN.
The super collider, and stuff, that the possibility of interdimensional string theory is all interdimensional stuff. You know, like
how do you do this?
What?
And then not pronounce like
You know what I'm more impressed with? The cohesive thoughts that he's spitting out, knowing 3 days ago he watched a movie called Billy the Kid versus Dracula.
I did, yeah.
Now, I have to add, it was at my dad's recommendation.
And I have to, thank you, Dad. Because it wasn't fucking 3 minutes into the movie that I saw a guy with the string, with the bat on the front. It was fucking fantastic.
When he told me that, I was like, I got to tell Craig. He's going to watch it.
I watched it immediately. Yeah.
But this is what I mean. It's what scares me about Craig knowing this stuff and saying it so eloquently is that he's actually sitting in his room alone having the same conversation. He's just saying that fuck these guys. They're going to believe me. Yeah. They're going to believe me.
No, it's not. And even that, it's like, do I believe it? I don't know. I'm on the fence about these things because I think about I actually sit there and say, well, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. I'm skeptical still about these things.
I think it's pretty irrefutable now.
But now it's becoming irrefutable.
To the point where our government is releasing video of something that proved that they don't know.
They don't know what it is.
Our government never admits they don't know something.
And the thing is, like you said, if for whatever reason, if they thought that it was a Russian or a Chinese or whatever other countries like technology,
we would have opened fire.
They not only that, they would have never said it.
No,
they would have never said it, because now they're looking at the other countries going,
"Hey guys,
did you see this?
We might need to team up on this."
Yeah, this is kind of important here. You know, what is this? Do you know what it is? And that's why, like I said, the one person that's going to bring us to full disclosure is Tom DeLonge from Blink-182. I find it amazing. And I mean, I'm not knocking him. The guy's obviously intelligent and did his shit enough that people in our government, high-ranking people in our government, recognized him and said, he's getting close. That was one of the things. They were like, he knows a little more than he should know.
Yeah.
And he's digging still. And he's not doing anything illegal, you know? And these people, but like that guy from the DOD actually retired. He still has intelligence clearance. He still has clearance. That's why if you watch the show that they aired Unidentified last week, he does an interview with the Navy pilot. And he says to, it was a female, and he says to her, we cannot talk about anything that is classified. If at any point you say something that is classified, I will end this interview. I still have a clearance, you know? And he's like, I still have a clearance. If you say anything, I will end this interview immediately. And then he's talking to the other guys, like they had the back. He's like, you do not say her name in emails, nothing. You call her Pilot 1.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know what I mean? Because he's still involved. He's still a player, even though he retired. This guy is still a player in the Department of Defense and a high-ranking person, nonetheless.
And I think Brad's probably right. Like, if the government's admitting this, you know there's more.
Yes.
A lot more.
A lot.
Well, there was also that fireball a few weeks ago that landed in Australia, and yet there's no evidence that it hit anything. Yeah. And they want to continue to throw the bullshit that this thing was a quarter mile wide and yet it burned up on entry. No, bullshit. It did not.
No, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So clearly this thing wasn't meant to blow up. It's not just a giant rock. This thing obviously went elsewhere.
Yeah.
They're looking for landing spots, and I really hope they go to India.
Yeah.
Just think of what that's going to do for transport there.
They're like, we're going to attack America. Fuck. How do we get there? These trains are packed. Like, it's crowded.
So the UFO lands, there's not even an ounce of shock. They just start climbing on the outside of the UFO.
Then they all get the shits.
The next footage is a UFO with 35 people and 16 goats on it.
We cannot figure out romantic object or food.
But I think, I don't know. I'd like to know, obviously everybody would like to know more. And I think what they're doing is, and they've done it with even Project Blue Book on the History Channel.
Yeah.
Which, granted, it's dramatized, obviously. You know, it's something that's dramatized to be entertaining.
But Blue Book was a legit project.
No,
that the
but
government sanctioned.
what they're doing is desensitizing you. And I think this is the beginning of the process right now, is with this show. These guys, and not necessarily just a show, but with the government's releasing, they're desensitizing people to get people to say, okay, we can handle it. Mm-hmm. Because I think something's going to happen eventually.
I think 20 years ago they started this, and they said, we need to find somebody from pop culture to temper this a little bit. Let's get the guy from Blink-182.
Yeah.
Now, 20 years later, they're stuck with him, even though the band is still going and playing somebody's VFW.
That's why they pulled out of that Fire fucking festival.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a landing spot.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a landing spot. That's why it didn't work out.
It was hard to build just Blink-182.
Fuck this. Let's see what's next. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
if you guys want to move on, go ahead because
we can go on.
I could go all night.
We can move on
this.
from aliens to the giant moe on Easter Island.
That's a good idea.
There you go.
Can you explain what a moe is again?
It's the big giant statue heads that are out on Easter Island.
No, we've used that term like we're assuming that people know that.
Yeah, we'll just post a picture of Craig's neck on the page.
Done.
Done.
The headline was Easter Island statues threatened by nose pick selfie snapping tourists. No conspiracy here.
No conspiracy here. They're just destroying these statues by picking their noses.
How tall are these things? How are they even getting up?
What
in
did
there?
you expect? Well, it's just the heads. So the nose is probably like fucking 5 feet off the ground.
There's a few sections on the island where there's big full statues lined up, like looking out at the ocean or the island. But there's a bunch that they found across the island that were half excavated.
Yeah.
So like a bunch of these heads are like half buried, so you can walk up to them and put your hands on the face.
Yeah, because they're
huge.
For years they thought they were just heads, and then it was a while ago, but they discovered that they're fucking full. There's bodies. They're full statues.
Full statue. So if it's like a 40-foot statue, you see the top 15 or 20 feet, and that's it.
Yeah. So now these people are picking their noses. So. And I thought
so nonchalant, like, oh, of course they're picking
the
their noses.
funny thing is if they were exposed the whole time, that article would have read, "Fucking Moai's asses in danger." Moai's crotches in danger because everybody would just be like holding their fucking junk.
I'd be putting Ethan up on my shoulder, swing from his erect dick.
Right? Like those. Like all those old like bronze statues you see around that have like patina on them, but like all the titties are like perfectly shiny and everything. Yeah. People grabbing them.
Well, think about it. If you were allowed to walk up and touch the statue of David, his wiener would be non-existent.
Yeah, he would have an actual.
It would have worn off.
Yeah, he'd have an actual asshole from all the people touching his ass.
Yeah, truth is, I think all of those Greek statues, we all think they're just like tufts of hair and like little mushroom cap dicks. I think what actually happened is people have just been rubbing them over thousands of years.
Guy was nervous when he was supposed to.
I was in the pool.
It was winter. Yeah. It was cold out. Poor David. That guy went on thousands of years of this tiny pecker. Fuck.
700 years ago, he had a 6-foot dick.
He's got like a body like a god, literally. Say hairless, except for that giant mound of pubes.
If the aliens came and wiped us all out, right, and then they saved our art, like, we call this one micro penis.
This is a statue of China,
this
former wrestler.
This is like when you make that little, like, you crack an egg inside toast, you call a little bird in the nest.
Yeah.
Basically what David looks like. Concrete Penis. That's the name of the episode we've just named.
Concrete penis.
I think we'd be there if we could go to Easter Island. Why is it called Easter Island anyway? Do we have a reason for that?
That I don't know.
That I don't, actually, I can't.
I'm
think
sure
of it.
I knew
There's-
it.
No, the actual name is something I can't think of it right now.
But Easter Island, if we went there, what are the odds that we're not spray painting a dick on it as soon as it falls over?
Oh fuck yeah! I would immediately stick my hand in its nose.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking line of Brad's heads on the beach. The fucking noses are all giant. They are.
Yeah, but do you know what's worse? They'd all look like me, and you'd still be the one teabagging them.
Yeah.
Deep down,
But
you have issues.
I'd go up. I'd be face fucking every single one of them.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Again, you said it looked like me.
What? Well,
He's teabagging me. Now you're face fucking me. I'm not feeling this segment at all,
I'd
boy.
go for a Moai job. I'd be good with that.
A Moai job. Yep. Easter Island Moai getting endangered by nose picking.
But it's like any place else. You put up art. You let people in for the first time. They're gonna fuck around. People are just dumb cattle at some point. You know.
It's
Like the guy who just said cattle.
I think about it.
Cattles. Yeah. Did I say
Think about
cattles?
it. I mean, the thing's
Shit.
already fucking 1,000 years old. Of course, it's gonna get fucked
Actually,
up by you.
it's only 700.
Is it? Yeah. It's No, I know it's like 1,000.
That was a joke about our previous story, you dummy.
Oh, no, I know they don't actually have a date on them, but I think they're like 1,000 years old.
Do you remember why we stopped doing headlines?
No.
This is why. Let's move on. Brewery boss resigns after branding non-alcoholic beer gay lemonade.
Funniest thing I read all week.
It's kind of funny.
It is pretty funny.
It's fucking funny.
It's
I'm sorry. It's fucking funny.
The meme is what made it funny. It had that classic 1920s boxer with his
Yeah.
fist
Oh,
out.
yeah. Like,
he
what do
put
you
up-
mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, put up your dukes. Put up your dukes.
Yeah.
So he puts that up. He's like, "You mean gay lemonade?"
Yeah.
You can almost imagine a guy with a handlebar mustache, like lifting those like round barbells.
Yeah. Wearing like
lemonade.
wearing like a leopard skin fucking tunic.
Riding a bicycle with a giant front wheel.
Exactly.
In that context, very funny.
Yes.
Owner of a successful business, maybe you don't put this
No,
out.
you might not. You might want to keep that to yourself.
You tell that one to your friends, something like that. But yeah, you keep it to yourself.
I mean, we want to be friends with them. You're more than welcome in this garage.
Yeah.
Because you'd bring beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we know it'd be alcoholic. I'd have to hide the seltzers.
Yeah.
Because God only knows what he thinks of my Trulies.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
See, I don't know why he's resigning. Like, who? So you fucked up. You said
Because he posted it to the world.
But this. So what? All right, you fucked up.
No, I get it.
See,
He
my
fucked up.
thing is
Yeah.
like he's got an opportunity to make up for it.
He does.
He owns a brewery.
He does.
So my thought was like he can make his own version of like he could call it a hard-on lemonade, and call
Yeah.
it behind the shandy.
I think
Very ale.
Yeah.
IP gay. Like 11% alcohol. Fuck it.
It's a pink hole lemonade. Yeah.
lighten the loafer's lager.
Rim job.
It's a wide mouth bottle.
Excuse me, do you have any fruit beers?
In the can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tall.
The bottles just slowly taper and get wider as you get down.
They all have an emergency release hatch in case you get it stuck up your ass.
Little button. So the air comes out, yeah.
Save the Provincetown police a phone call. Just pull the ripcord.
No, but I mean,
They sell their six-pack strung together top to bottom.
call this one glory hole. It's the fucking you drink it from the side like a shotgun. Bottle cap's just on the side of the bottle.
So yeah, we denounce
Yep.
what he said. We think it was really irresponsible
It was.
of him. Honestly, we're making jokes here, people. Come on now. But I think if he wants to make this up,
Yeah.
he can make his own non-alcoholic beer,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that
Well-
would be the best way to fucking handle it.
No, to be honest with you, stayed on as CEO and said, "All right, I fucked up. I made a mistake. I apologize."
Own it.
Yeah.
They're
Own
just
it.
words.
I apologize.
I said it. I thought it was funny.
I made a joke that was in bad taste, and I fucked up. And even that, I mean, I didn't mean it. It was just a joke.
Yeah. That's
So
all.
If he had
Here
said
we go.
lame lemonade, nobody'd be having this conversation.
No.
now.
Right.
And we've talked at length about the fact that you really shouldn't use the word gay to mean dumb or gay to mean light and airy.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
Gay in every stereotypical way imaginable. Okay, but do you really think there's any gay people giving this an ounce of attention right now?
No.
Not a one. Not a
No,
one.
no, that's the
No, they're all
It's
like, I
straight
like
guilty
lemonade.
people. It's straight guilty people that
Yeah.
are feeling bad about this. Gay people couldn't care fucking less.
Yeah. Especially gay lemonade is like salty.
It brings out the flavor. And especially, you got to salt the rim.
Yeah, yeah. But nah, but
Gives the term "pumping the keg" a whole new meaning.
Do you know what kills me is that most people are not going to hear the middle section of this.
Yeah, they are. Like it. I mean, what the fuck?
They're jokes.
They're jokes.
That's
People
the
know
thing.
where we stand. You know what I mean? I don't.
If you're new to the show, go back in the archives.
Yeah, go
see
back
where
in
we
the
stand on
archives.
gay rights and all that.
I
Come
don't
on
give a
now.
shit. You know what I mean? And was he wrong? Yeah. Did he have to resign? No.
Well,
He
it
just
was-
needed to say, hey.
Was his
know?
intent to incite the entire
Yeah.
LGBTQ community?
No.
He wanted to get a
Now
laugh
the
out of people.
next guy.
Right. The next guy, however, went out of his way to do that.
The next guy, however,
Right. So
should be
I'll-
more than resign.
yeah, I'll get you on this one. The Alabama mayor recommends killing, in quotes, LGBTQ community in now deleted Facebook post.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that makes it go away.
Right.
Yeah, because that wasn't screen capped 1 billion fucking times, dummy.
And by the way, good for you, Alabama, for
Yeah.
knowing how to screen cap something.
Yeah, right. You know what's funny is every screen cap has a cracked screen.
I mean, this is a state that might seriously consider calling eggs chicken dishes now.
Yeah,
Because they're saying, well, it's a baby egg and it's a baby chicken.
yeah,
So therefore, it's now a chicken dish. So all egg dishes are now considered chicken.
yeah, because they don't want it to be unborn fetuses.
That's right.
Yeah,
A fetus that fell out of a chicken's ass into a pile
So, I
of
mean,
dirt.
these
Let's cook that right up.
yeah. These hypocritical motherfuckers. They're so hypocritical
And they're stupid.
and they're stupid.
Who's surprised that an Alabama mayor is like racist and
No,
sexist?
and that's what I mean.
Really?
There's a
You
difference
see
between.
him? Looks like Boss Hog. He's
Yeah.
chasing guys in a fucking Charger.
When you hear the word Alabama, that's what you picture.
Yeah. And
Fat,
that's what I mean.
balding, racist white
Between
man.
this guy and the last guy, the CEO, this is two totally different fucking like the other guy made a joke, a bad joke that was a joke. The guy wasn't serious. This motherfucker was serious.
Yeah, it was.
Because then he even went on to say, "Well, I thought I was writing a private message." So you really mean it?
Yeah. Yep.
It was like, you didn't even fucking lie right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot
fucking
of that
dummy.
going around lately. Anyway,
Right? It's fucking insane.
Yeah, there was this gets me like I don't actually, you know, it's what? It's June? It's Pride Month.
It's Pride Month.
It's
Yeah.
Pride Month right now.
yeah,
It's
actually,
June-
tomorrow's a parade in Providence.
it is.
Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Like that is fucking. That's
You know what?
that's-
it's not insane. It's majority of this country
Yeah,
feels
yeah,
this
yeah,
way.
yeah.
It's
We
hateful.
pick on Alabama because they have like an IQ score that matches their blood pressure. It's not. They're not smart
They're
people.
not-
But if you don't think for a minute that you drive 45 minutes north and west of here and you're not finding that around here, you're full of it.
no,
You find it everywhere.
Exactly, it's everywhere.
and
I could fucking drive
prevalent.
2 houses down and find it.
That's
I don't
Chuck's house.
I don't
Oh yeah, yeah. Told you.
I just don't get it. I don't get why people like this get so heated and like they think this is the right answer. It's the right thing
You've
to
got
do.
a
I don't-
very
I don't-
laissez-faire attitude about life, though.
Let me-
I've noticed this about you. You're like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. If that's what they want to do, why does it bother you?
Yes.
Exactly.
I don't. Why does what you do bother me? It doesn't. It shouldn't.
Shouldn't.
I don't give a fuck what you're doing over
No,
there.
do whatever
Go
you
ahead.
want. If you're not hurting anybody, I don't care.
I don't give a shit.
Nope.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
See, I wish
know?
I had that ability, but I don't. It's crazy, though, that people like me still exist where I do internalize what other people do. I worry about what the long-term ramifications of that are
Well,
going to be.
yeah,
And, you
but-
know, I mean, I've got this stupid reputation now where I'm just like, all I do is worry. But something like this, if it was the Warren mayor that did this, I'd worry about letting my kids go to school for fear of tensions rising in the school
All right,
as a result
that's,
of this.
That's I think what Craig was saying is we don't care. Like if you want to be gay, transgender,
Whatever the fuck you
you
want. I don't give a
that's
fuck.
like be who you are. It doesn't affect my life.
Right.
What
I-
you're saying is
Yeah.
this mayor now is creating an environment that is potentially unstable and dangerous for people that don't have his exact
Yes.
views.
And what's happening, the reason he pointed it out, he was trying to write a private message, which proves the point that he does feel this way.
You fucking really believe this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he wanted somebody to know it in no uncertain terms.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what worries me, because we're acting like, okay, it's Alabama and it's Mississippi and it's all these southern states way over there. It's not way over there. But you'll also find it in some of the best neighborhoods around here.
Yes.
And by best, I mean most affluent. But I mean, you're going to find it rich, poor, whatever. People are ignorant on all financial strata.
No, it's
and
true.
I'm frustrated now because we're looking at a world where people who have been elected to public office by being good people
are spewing these ridiculous. This is like 1722 ideals.
It's not that they're spewing it. It's that they now feel empowered to do it. Whether or not our current president is making this more empowerment, or if they're actually, people think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But this guy, whether or not his story is true is irrelevant. He clearly has no problem doing this while serving in public office.
Yeah.
And like it or not, there are Democrats in Alabama, too. Yeah. There are people who like gay people in Alabama.
Of course.
There are gay people in Alabama.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're over at Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
God, we just can't help ourselves. We're this close to being decent.
So
we almost made it.
So good. Nobody's listening to us for social comment.
No, but these people exist regardless of who's running our country, who's in power anyway. These people are around.
What
They
I'm
believe
saying,
this
though,
stuff.
is a decade ago, when Obama just took office, I don't feel that people in Alabama, a mayor, would have felt as comfortable coming out and saying
No.
it. I think now he probably felt like in all his fucking 2-digit IQ ignorance that he was okay to say this because, hey, I'm just speaking my mind.
Yep.
And we've talked a lot on here about freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence.
Well, no, he can say it. You want to say
happens.
it? Go ahead.
But fucking deal with what's coming. And what's sad about this the most is nothing's going to happen.
No.
Okay, the only thing that's going to happen to him is he made the direct killing reference, which is now a palpable threat. Well, so he might serve some time for that.
Yeah.
But chances are down there they're going to throw a very light book at him.
Yeah, my thing is that I don't get that. Whether you agree with it or not, like, I mean, why do you have to be so, I don't know.
No,
I don't understand it. I really
why
don't.
do you have to spend your time criticizing someone else for what they do that has no direct impact on your life?
It's hypocritical. Yeah. Always.
These are the same people that will promote the Bible and say, "Oh, Jesus loves everybody," and this and that, but say,
and then
spit hate like this.
Yeah,
yeah,
and doing
the worst kind of people.
Doing the exact opposite.
As long as you do what Jesus says in a book that has been misinterpreted roughly 4,200 times.
Yeah,
yeah.
Subtract 300 years here or there, but ultimately, it's the biggest game of telephone that's ever been played.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the Bible, and then King James gets involved. He's like, "No, I'm doing this.
Yeah,
Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yep.
Yeah. King James showed up. He's like, "Yeah, I'm rewriting. The Bible."
It's a political document that gets rewritten to fit the times.
Yeah, and the Council of Nicaea was like, "No, like take that book, put it over here. We're not going to use that one."
Yep.
Yeah. Take that. We're not going to use that one either. you know, let's put together this story to tell what we want. Yeah. That's what they did.
It was like the religious version of Game of Thrones. Yeah, we'll just write it how we want.
Yes.
We almost did it.
That was for you, pal.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
No, but it's
your birthday.
And that's what it is. It's all to put your agenda. See? To put your agenda forward.
Blasphemer!
is taking these things like to omit books and let books in. You've created a narrative. It's just like when I edit a podcast. When I edit one of these shows, I can change things.
We make edits?
No.
That's exactly how we flow every week.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but I'm saying, like, if I could edit something to make it sound like you said something else in a second.
You did an intro where you actually juxtaposed the words that I said.
Yes.
Okay, and I had to say them a certain way, and you managed to make me sound retarded.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm not allowed to say that either. You made me sound not intelligent.
Yeah.
Okay, see? We got to watch ourselves.
Retarded's funnier.
Yeah. And I mean it in the truest sense. I was slowed by my word.
Yeah.
But I'm at a point now where do we ignore them? And is it a matter of going back to third grade and just saying, okay, if you ignore them, they'll go away?
That's
because we're giving him the media coverage he probably wanted.
Well, that's what I'm saying. To be honest with you, I think ignoring them is the way to go.
And now I had to change the topic because I just read what was going to be our roundup. But I'm actually throwing a fucking audible on the play here, all right? I'm going to read it. I think you guys should still do your roundup jokes. But I kind of have to read the article.
No,
No.
Yeah. No, I want to hear it.
Because there's so many fucking good quotes in here. And we did kind of slap this together on the fly today. So maybe this is good that you guys will read the article for the first time with me.
All right.
The headline, because we couldn't not do this. Woman loses 10 years of memories after she pooped with excessive force. I will say I'm pretty thrilled that this is the first time in years that we've seen excessive force in a headline that doesn't involve a cop.
Yeah.
So feeling pretty good about that. Yeah. This is more of a solo act.
Solo act.
But I don't know what qualifies as journalism anymore, but I'm pretty sure all of us are journalists, even if you don't want to be. All right. Let me like, if you know anything about journalism, you know that your lead is the most important part of the article.
Yes.
You want to lead off with something strong that really draws people in and say, you know what, I'm going to read however long this article is, I'm in. This guy comes to the plate with, it's pretty common to experience constipation, and it isn't pleasant as you will feel bloated and uncomfortable. Way to rope me in, pal.
Yeah. I feel like I'm reading a pamphlet at the nursing home.
Yeah, exactly.
But but he continues.
It gets better.
Oh, no, that's not the whole article. He goes, that's not all, as you have to exert more force, and he puts that in quotes. Force when you are trying to relieve your bowels. But do be careful, because a netizen in Hong Kong shared how his mother lost 10 years of her memory after she pooped at home. That must have been an epic poop! 2 exclamation points.
Oh, did I write that?
No, there was no spelling mistakes.
No, it would have been better.
Yeah.
It would have been full fucking grammar and spelling errors.
Yeah.
But
I had to be afraid of you actually trying to write Chinese. You'd be starting a holy war. Ironically, that's exactly where this story comes from. According to the China Times, he said that his mother had experienced constipation 2 weeks ago. Well, I don't know when I'm reading this. Why do you say 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Put a date in. She was feeling very uncomfortable. She had gone to the toilet to relieve herself and spent quite some time inside. But when she came out,
10 years.
Yeah.
To be precise.
And that's where he goes. When she came out, she suddenly had amnesia. Her family members discovered that she had forgotten everything that happened over the past 10 years. This lasted for 8 hours before she was back to normal. Her worried family sent her to the hospital thinking there was something wrong with her brain, but when doctors checked on her, she was functioning normally.
Really?
She's just losing blood out of her asshole.
This is the line that killed me. This is the line that killed me. She doesn't remember her amnesia.
I forgot that.
I don't remember not remembering. This is the greatest.
What's even better is some editor read through this like, perfect.
It's coming from worldofbuzz.com.
Oh, okay.
So I thought it was a vibrator review site. Who knew? Anyway, this excessive force led to an increase in abdominal and intracerebral pressure. So he's got the terms down, which caused a lack of oxygen flow to her brain, resulting in short-term memory loss. The doctor also said that people who are highly emotional or frequently carry heavy objects. Greg, you are all of the above.
Brad, don't push too hard.
Yes.
Who are you guys? What are you doing in my garage?
But this is where he absolutely kills it. And fuck you. He didn't add that. I did. He added that these people are 30% more likely to experience a stroke compared to an average person, so it's important to ensure they're healthy. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables to keep your bowel movements regular, peeps.
He wrote Peeps. Oh my god.
And the article ends there.
That's a 55-year-old man trying to sound young.
What the fuck?
That is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, but you know what? It makes us look better. So I'm all for that. That said, is this actually possible? Did this woman really lose 10 years of her life for 8 hours?
So, all right, so it was just temporary?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say she legitimized the term shitting your brains out.
Yeah.
And now we're on the roundup. Yeah. All right.
How did her family have time to interrogate her after a hard shit?
You were in there for a while, 10 years.
Hey, hey Grandma,
all been pooping in
sit
the
down.
yard.
We have some questions.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Camera crew with a microphone. Can you tell us what just happened in there? I don't know where I am.
She just ate nothing but dairy for 6 months. She blew the cork out of her ass like a fucking rocket.
She's fucking hammering Cracker Barrel cheese the last 6 months. Fucking lost her memory.
If you're served cheese in a wheel, it's time to slow down.
The good thing is all those magazines in the back of the toilet are brand new.
That's right. Can't argue that. I just said taking that Asian cock up her ass would be an absolute breeze now. She must have fucking shit a Winnebago. I can only imagine.
Christ.
Maybe that's what happened to us. We just had a big giant shit as a
It
world
was
that we lost for
17
100 years.
Keurigs. South Park references.
I just wonder if she remembers the stench she created when she finally birthed this food baby.
Oh, shit. Every time she has anal, she gets 3 months back.
It's awesome. It's like Capital One.
Yeah.
It's always the
Return on your investment.
It's always the first time for her.
Yeah.
It's Capital One. What's in your toilet?
The brown cod.
What do you say, boys?
Oh, shit.
I say we put a fork in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
say
good.
we wrap it up. We
Yeah.
came in here with no agenda tonight, and I think all things considered, we got a good reminder why we don't do headlines anymore.
Yeah.
But we also had some fun doing it. We're
Yeah.
going to do this from time to time. I don't think we even need to go to the hat. I think we're good.
I think we're good. Yeah.
We're good. Can I get a glass in the middle? Even though we roasted him a few weeks ago. Happy birthday,
Happy
Dave.
birthday,
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen.
40-year-old motherfucker.
Fearsome threesome. Absolutely great.
Not bad for a hangover episode. Not bad for a hangover.
not bad. at all.
I don't think it would have been this random if we didn't have the weeks that we did.
We had some.
Dave was off site.
Yeah.
You were not at your
had-
desk. I was
no.
in New York. Craig was slacking,
Yeah.
which he's admitted
Yeah, I did.
repeatedly. And unlike all other times, we didn't argue.
No.
I know Craig wrote, I should have done more this week, and then just silence.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I just admitted it. I didn't say I was going to do more after it.
I'm on the train coming back. I'm like, yeah,
All right.
that was it. But it happened. Life, whatever. We're not,
No, you guys were busy this week, and I should have stepped up, and I didn't.
No,
we're not unfamiliar with that around here. So it is
Well,
what it
fuck
is.
you, man.
No, not from you. Nah, shit happens. Life happens. We move on. So tonight we goofed around, whatever, but happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you.
Let's do a little housekeeping. A little change in plans. Those of you who are expecting to find us at TeePublic, you might still, but there's also a good chance you're going to find us somewhere else. And it's a site called Designed by Humans. And what they're doing is they're creating higher quality merch for artists. And believe it or not, we qualify. They do a lot of podcasts, a lot of radio shows. They do a lot of up-and-coming musicians. They do merch at reasonable prices, and they do all the distribution.
Nice.
No minimum orders. We don't have to stock any of this shit. They do hats. They do socks. It's not the wide range of stuff. We're not seeing coffee mugs or anything. Right?
No, but okay.
But the stuff is going to be printed on top-quality T-shirts, and it's a really funky growing community that I think better matches what we're doing. So I'm getting a final verdict on Designed by Humans this week.
Nice.
And so we should have the merch set. I've actually designed the shirts. The boys have seen them.
Yes.
Got some new
Good
designs.
stuff.
Nothing that's going to like timestamp us or anything like that. So we got some cool stuff. And so keep an ear to the ground for that. Other than that, it's basically I'm going to do what Dave couldn't on his roast a few weeks ago. It's at NTS_podcast. Dave actually went on Instagram to do videos leading up to last week's episode.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, you can find us at NTS You said at 7 times.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
You were NTS @_podcast. I'm like, it's not an email address, you douchebag. It's a fucking social. Yeah,
that's
I
all right.
totally played it back 6 times.
Good call, though, Dave. Dave stepped up, though.
He did.
I tried.
He stepped up.
He did.
I tried.
He did. And now there's a whole bunch of people emailing NTS @_podcast because that's a real thing.
There's some fucking Indian dude like, what the fuck? I've been calling all. Now they get my address. I've been calling these people all day trying to get Target gift cards.
First the UFO shows up here. Now this.
Some Nigerian prince is pissed off.
Yeah.
I still think there's one Nigerian prince actually wants to share his money.
He's like, what the fuck?
It's like, somebody come get this.
Oh my god.
Died 6 years ago. He just wanted to give away.
Yeah,
his
it's
money.
just one thing. It's like, God damn, now he's broke because of taxes and shit.
His family's ruined for generations. All because we didn't trust his email. Because of guys like Dave who didn't get this correct. It's at NTS_podcast on all major social media networks. Our Instagram game has been good. Our Twitter game is what Twitter is at this point. Twitter's kind of dying. Facebook, I hate to say it, guys. Facebook's kind of going, We're talking to our fans and only our fans. We're not really getting out there. So I'm going to put out a request. Share the show.
Share it, please.
Share it.
Yeah,
Comment
please share
on the
it.
show.
Yeah.
Okay, leave us more feedback and tell us what you want, what you don't, and share it with your friends, even the people who you were on the fence. Share it with your grandmother. I mean, my brother had no problem sharing it with my aunts, and and it's led to like double
Maybe
the
like, hey,
listenership.
these guys suck. Check it out.
Yeah. Their first episode, if it's this one, nobody's coming back, but whatever. Give a shit.
We live week to week. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's it. So, Dave, it's your birthday. Take us out, brother.
Needless to say, we said it.